fair. But I haven't had.
Will there be anything else?
Oh, yes, my dear man. More beans.
Granny, ew! Out the way!
This summer, America's favorite obese family is back.
Ew, gross!
You're just mad because I'm skinny. I'm not.
Jeff Portnoy. Jeff Portnoy. Jeff Portnoy. And Jeff Portnoy are the Fatties, Part 2.
In some countries, it's considered a compliment.
Letting loose this summer.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3.
Well, hello, and welcome to My Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king. Was that a real thing? Is it like a legit movie, or did you make it?
Have you not seen Tropic Thunder?
I'm just playing with you. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yes, I have seen Tropic Thunder several times.
Yes.
But I want to thank everyone for stopping in tonight's show where we are discussing Fat Boy Tasting Notes, pairing with whiskeys. Since it's part of the show, we do claim to be it. I feel like we should at least back that up to some extent. Mitch is not with us this evening, so we are bringing in Emily, the best wrench in the business, is stepping into the screen this evening. So thank you very much for being with us. And
also, the M name helps, so there's that.
But before we go further this evening, Mike, do you want to tell everyone about the Bar Cart Co-op?
I'd love to tell everyone about the Bar Cart Co-op. Yep, there we go. All right, the Bar Cart Co-op is a collection of friends who create content for the whiskey and other distilled spirits public. The Bar Cart Co-op YouTube and Facebook pages have information about upcoming and past special shows, which happen about every quarter. From blind tastings to distiller panels to discussions of special collaborations and the usage of unique grains. The Bar Cart Co-op has educational and fun episodes for your enjoyment. The oldest show in the group is Distillers Talk, hosted by Christy Atkinson and Alan Bishop. It's a conversation with people from distilleries and distillery adjacent, getting into deep and sometimes off the rails and back again discussions with their interviews. New episodes arrive at the end of the work week. And if that one is not nerdy enough, then please check out One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. This is the show where Alan Bishop answers any questions about distilling and often puts them to the test. It could be individual grains, mash bills, equipment, and methodology. New episodes come out randomly, so subscribe. Then we have Bourbon Turntable, where they mix the love of music with the love of whiskey. They have conversations with musicians, writers, distillery folks, and common folks like us about music and whiskey. It releases every Wednesday on all your platforms, including YouTube. Upcoming shows include, but are not exclusive to, the band Mojo Thunder, Liberty Pole Spirits, a band called Revelry, another band called In Theory. There's going to be a roundtable with Steve Combs, David Levine, and myself. And then there will be Alan and Jolie around Alan Bishop Day. And Miss Maggie Kimbrell will be on another show. Then there is If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything, which is a show about spirits and paranormal among us, as well as the unexplained and the spiritual. Subscribe on Spotify to get the 4 seasons that have already gone through. 5th season is en route. And last but not least, we have Whiskey and Ring podcast with the aforementioned David Levine. David does fantastic interviews, does really good reviews of whiskey, does a good job of being organized and keeping track of everything that he has been tasting, and does a really good award show. David does that and more, many things which we won't do.
You're always setting us up so well at the end, but it is true.
We could, but it's just not gonna.
Why?
It's a lot of time.
It's
He does a very good job.
well, he does. You can't top him, so why try?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's not my role in this gig.
I'm sure somebody.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about Fat Boy tasting notes or treats.
I bet David won't do
desserts.
Fat Boy tasting notes, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I don't think it's out of his realm. Okay. Let me say that.
It depends if you give him good enough roa. Then you might have a shot.
That is true. All right, let's see here. I have an okay list of snacks and whiskey combinations that I feel like should or could go together. Mike, how many do you have?
I got a few.
You?
I got a few. I got 5, 6, 7. I got about 10.
That is excellent. That's fair. I like that. I think. Do you want to start off with one, and then we'll go.
How many? Molly?
I have 2 whiskeys and about 6 items.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
See, so about in the same realm. So
I'll go low hanging fruit here for one thing that's very simple, and I'm not just normal foods, because you can get into some cashews are maybe the least healthy of all nuts. I could be wrong on that, and I probably am, but that's too easy. It's getting into chocolate, and there's a couple of them in particular which I do really enjoy having, and one of them is dark chocolate sea salt caramels.
okay.
Those are easy because they stay with you. They're in your teeth. You can, even if you suck on them, they're just all over your mouth. And what it does with bourbons and rye is just it does bring out other flavors, and especially with that salt. I've had some bourbons that I thought were just nice and silky, and then you have that, and then that salt just flips part of that on the palate. The only downside to this type of chocolate, as far as I'm concerned, is that it is you're really only going to have a 1 or 2, just because there's some effort in eating the dark chocolate sea salt caramels. But my go-to if I'm going for chocolate is it's milk chocolate in quotes, but it's actually the hazelnut milk chocolate bars from Aldi. Those bad boys, they melt. They are so nice. They just coat your mouth like butter. It's so much fun to have with whiskey because it just gets everywhere. It gets in all your cracks and crevices of your mouth. And as to quote loosely quote Paul Blart Mall Cop, it's like peanut butter. Fills in and patches the holes in your heart.
Fair enough.
Ooh, I don't know if I like the drink I made. I may have to switch that up. Nope. I don't know. Haven't had it in a while. Well, I was gonna say I had a couple of them on here that I went with maybe already a spirit in mind. Now, the first one I have this not quite Fat Boy, and this would go into a lot of people's categories, I think, would use in a tasting. They go plainer, but I went honey buttered pretzel, the twist kind, not the braided type, but just the twist straight up. And if I was having that when I was thinking about it, was something I had recently that I liked. If I was going to sit down and have a snack, I went with Shriner's Gin because It's a different aspect, but it's not overpowering to what the gin would be presenting. But it add a little layer of like earthiness, and like I think the honey and butter would play well with it and not like overpower what was going on. So that would be, obviously, I think pretzels can go into snacking with a lot, but I think with that one I had recently, that's where I could sit down and I think I would enjoy them together for quite a while in an afternoon. That's one. Now the second one, I was just to be honest, a lot of people who have meats of a different type. I'm lazy and I really like teriyaki. So a teriyaki beef stick is something I have a lot of times when I'm drinking in general, no matter what it is. But to be honest, I like it with rye whiskeys, mainly because if you have a spicier rye whiskey, it adds a little bit of that peppery kick that you don't have from a general teriyaki beef stick. So it adds a little extra kind of kick from a different area, a little bit of heat from the alcohol, makes you salivate a little bit more. But I was having a hard time with that because I wanted to go back to like Driftless Glen's Young Rye. I was trying to think of a rye that punches, like shakes you around a bit, or at least grabs you and kind of scares you right away, and it may fade away after. But one that like left an actual like impression on you when you had it, just because it'll twist in there a little bit more. So something that had a little more rye spice. Oh, that's the Victorian Bar Room. I heard they're moving. Congratulations on that. They got a house.
Yeah.
So,
Emily, what do you got for your first one?
The first one, to be really basic, is just Wild Turkey 101 and Fiddle Faddle, the toffee variety in the blue box.
nice. I think, yeah, a little bit of spice to that from adding on top of the Fiddle Faddle, but
Right.
the caramel nail, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So are you having the Fiddle Faddle and then drinking the 101? Or are you drinking the 101 and then having the Fiddle Faddle, or all of the above?
Yes, all of the above, all the time.
Okay.
Once
Okay.
the party starts, there's not a whole lot of time.
Pull it out of your hair, put it in your mouth.
No, I have birds. I have
Well, it's, yeah. Okay. I forget that.
I did too.
Dude, can they bring you the Fiddle Faddle? Or they keep it
No.
for themselves?
they will eat all of it by themselves, and they really should not have it in large quantities. But if I drop it and they happen to get to 2 kernels first, I'm not going to argue because I like my fingers.
Well, just give them some 101.
No. No. I did have one at one point who would fight me for the fruit and accoutrement in like cocktails for happy hour. She would be known to grab the the fruit slices out of the glass after they've been depleted.
Yeah.
It was not a great thing, but she was already old and stuff, so I didn't argue with the old lady about that too much.
Yeah, don't argue with the old lady when she's
No. For basically the same reason. If you like your fingers, you don't argue with the old woman set in her ways.
Just nod and say thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I had a grandma-in-law like that. That was had a penchant for her mid-afternoon drinks, and if they weren't there on time, she got a little cranky about it. Even the people at the nursing home staff would let you know when she was running out, so that there wasn't an incident.
You mean a mutiny? Yeah. That's
yeah,
bad.
That's. She wasn't the only one, but there was one time my brother-in-law got called because he was off, and he showed up with a bottle, and when he walked in the door, the nurses at the station started applauding him.
Say this is. once you get in a routine, you don't interrupt your routine unless you have a reason to.
So, no, that's a good one. I like that one. Mike,
That is a good one.
Yeah, I was saying Fiddle Faddle is one that's like, very kind of crackerjacky. You can't argue with it. That's one that settles in. That's an excellent one.
Yeah, my list could have gotten really long because I thought of stuff like Cracker Jacks and things like that.
Man.
I will go. One of the other ones that just simple is Pringles, specifically Pringles, because they're not so greasy, and it's also kind of fun with the texture. That's easy. That one's just plain Pringles, no dip, nothing like that. Little Pringle. And an honorable mention to Munchos.
Oh, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, with your Pringles, where do you sorry,
Plain Pringles.
Just plain. I understand.
Just plain.
With that salt on it, where would you go with it typically? I might even, because I know like one or two spots I'm thinking I might go Scottish.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I've gone all over. I mean like all whiskey with all of these things, but like the Pringles especially, I do find that like a very a sweeter bourbon does really nice with that salt from the Pringles. Pringles and like if you go peated, you go Isla stuff. It's not a balance. But with like with a nice sherried scotch or something, maybe not as briny. Pringles are pretty good. Also, fun fact with Pringles is if you put more than one of them on top of each other when you eat it, it's a completely different tasting experience. So if you put like 3 on top of each other and then you eat those and then have that with the bourbon, completely different. Highly recommend it. There's a reason I'm not eating a lot of stuff on the show because it just look like an idiot.
I almost feel like this Pringle method could be a show in and of itself.
Oh, it definitely could be. Yeah.
Do we need their approval, or can we just make it the Pringle method?
I think we could just make it up and just call it like chips in a can.
Oh, that's no fun.
Or the Pringle pour over.
But Pringles, that's my easy.
Sorry. Then if it was me that was cutting out for a second there, so sorry about that. No, that's kind of a neat one. It's on that line of that buttered pretzel, but not because it's a little more salty. Plus, like you said, with that just one layer, it's pretty wafery, and I don't know. I like that. I wasn't thinking that route. Nice choice. Let's see here. Something I have on mine that peanut butter, a chocolate covered peanut butter cookie. Some people will go to the Girl Scouts version. There is an Aldi's version. I like both, but very similar. And with that, I went with the King and Dane rum from Toledo Spirits, where it was kind of this really neat, earthy, cool rum, but that added just a neat peanut buttery chocolate texturing to it that, I'll be honest, doled it out a little bit from the strength that was like the Dunder one, if I'm remembering correctly, and if I picked that one right. Doled it out a bit, but it played into a neat factor of when it did it. It took out a little, not to say there was a sharp note in it, but it took out a little bit of an edge and kind of rolled that into the whole thing and made it more playful being a rum than with a bourbon. So I thought that was kind of fun when I was doing that. Not that I don't think I think those cookies you could do that with a lot of things. I started thinking of wood hat as a bloody butcher would be neat with that, just because of the power of it, and that's something else that's thick and could hold up on your mouth to what was going on. So that was a different one of the ones I had. Emily, what was the next one on your list?
Sticking with the 101, but kind of related to Mike's thing from earlier, I have milk chocolate turtles. So milk chocolate, caramel, and pecans because reasons.
Mm-hmm.
At the liquor store, which I did not get the last time, but there's a dark chocolate version that is also made, which I do not currently have, but I enjoy for the same reasons. If you have like a mid 100 proof rye, the dark chocolate turtles go really well with that too.
Nice. The churro, man, that is an excellent choice. I did not pick that, but that is an excellent.
There was one close to that, but it's regional, but because in the Midwest you can get a nut goodie, which is essentially a turtle. Yeah.
Yeah. We can get those sometimes, like if you know somebody or you know where to look. But also, my grandfather from the Northeast also liked the maple nut goodies, which are not chocolate, but basically same idea.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Oh, those are good.
I'm making a dessert snack plate for my roommates, so don't mind me if I'm.
They're upset that you have all the snacks downstairs.
Oh, they were. I hid them because otherwise I would have nothing to show on the show. So I just like a couple minutes ago said, "Oh, hey, by the way."
Oh, tell Maggie I said hi.
Crap. Yeah.
I've got dessert covered.
No, that's all right. Here, let's see. I'll go with next one on mine, just because I went with key lime pie, just because I don't get to eat it enough and I love it, and I went with something I wouldn't normally go with when I was having it. I went with the recent Iron Roots cigar blend, just because having that before and then having the pie adds this just neat layering of the key lime edge to it, but you keep all the boldness of what the cigar blend had. You could eat a whole pie that way. I ate half. Well, it was almost half a pie. It was. Some people helped. It wasn't all me.
You know, if you live closer to where Key West is, you can also go places and get slices of key lime pie dipped in chocolate on a stick.
Holy shit! Really? You would know. Damn, that's. See, there's some things that America goes too far on, and I don't know if that's it.
Oh no, it's pretty glorious, and if you don't like it, I'll eat it. Fine.
I love it. It's pretty glorious. Yeah. I like the response.
Sometimes Florida is living 20 years ahead of us, and sometimes not.
That just sounds. It sounds awesome. I don't know how it stays.
And
I don't
have
know.
a choice of either white or regular chocolate.
Oh,
You have all the options. Also, important Florida-related question: what color were the limes in your pie, Patrick?
What color are the limes in my pie?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like. They're like a greeny yellow.
Okay. If they're yellow, then you had actual key limes. If they're green, you had Persian limes, which are a different thing, and the whole flavor profile is different.
Well, I know, because usually there's the key lime that's like super green, and then there's one, like you said, that's kind of more of a yellowish pie.
Yeah.
So
you hit the jackpot. Congratulations.
Fuck yeah. Sorry. I'll take what I can get.
Fair enough.
It's better than not having it, but yeah, that was one where I was like, just the flavoring with that is just, it's just outside enough, and just the cigar blend holds up well enough with it that it just adds neat complexity. Hold on here, Mike. What's your next one?
My next one, again, I'm working up, but we're still this one's quite simple.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's simple, but I'll give you a sneak peek. It's going to make another appearance later. The Nilla wafer.
Mm-hmm.
Nilla wafers with bourbon and single malts. It's delightful. You can eat them by the handful. And there's a difference between vanilla wafers and Nilla wafers and the
Yes.
all versions. There's a definite difference between all of them.
Is there a preference for you?
Well,
Sorry. We
Well,
can come back. We can come back to you.
that's so good. Prefer Nilla wafer overall, but I also do like the Aldi version as a close second.
That's fair.
And also Nilla wafers and rum is also quite nice.
Well, it's just a nice vanilla note that lands on top. Of
Yes.
it. Get a little bit
Yeah.
of like bready. If you, especially a little that crunchy note, would be kind of interesting with the rum. Sorry,
Yeah.
I used to bake. There was a Caribbean cookbook I have that I really enjoyed using it. But some of the Sherry gave me crap because some of the recipes were not really complex, just time consuming. You got to do this and this and this, and like 3 hours later, you have your puree. She's like to be a bit faster. I'm like, yeah, but the puree is outstanding.
Yeah. But you have a job.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Everyone wishes they did too. So, I'm getting a little bit lower. What's the next one on your list, Emily?
Okay. The next one, let's see. The next one would probably be s'mores, goldfish. So goldfish grams that are like, it's a combo of chocolate grams and regular grams and like some marshmallowy pieces. It's sort of like Lucky Charms, but not. And that okay, I got this Jim Beam rye. I was excited about it as a low proof, just basic rye to mix with. And it made me really mad because it has like no mouthful and the proof is too low and it's just flat and it made me angry. So the chocolate helps, as does the extra sugar, because it doesn't really taste like hardly much of anything. But I fixed it with an upcoming pairing. But this helped.
I like it.
I like it too.
Sorry, I needed to have a drink. I haven't really had one in a week or so. I was on vacation. And it was fun. And I got a shirt while I was on vacation from a bar that we'll be talking about here in a couple weeks. I got some pictures, some video. I had a few drinks there. And one of them was, I forgot I'd have to see what the one was I had, but it was a rum drink. And it was one of the better drinks I've had in a long time. And very, very dangerous. Because, some of those glasses you get, you can have a drink and you're meant to like almost sip on the drink, where if you actually like have 2 or 3 drinks, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the 2 or 3 drinks you couldn't have. It was just like 1, 2, shit. I'll have another. Don't leave, sir. Go just start mixing it up again. So that was worth it. I had a weird snack one on mine. Just thinking of food, spirits that we had tried this year. I think that if you had some garlic bread with cheese and
Okay.
follow me on this,
I'm with you.
the 451 pizza pachuga. If you were
Okay.
sipping on that along with garlic bread with cheese, I think it goes fantastic. It's one of the things I thought back. I'm like, what was something weird and a little bit different? And that thing had. I'd almost put it with pasta more, but I think garlic bread with cheese is easier to snack on. But I think that mixed with it falls right into place, and you just keep going. You keep drinking, you keep having a little more garlic bread, a little more little more taste with it mostly to figure out what's going on. Because it was strong for what it was too. So I think the cheese and stuff might pull a little of the flavor out as you're having it. So I just thought that would be a neat snacking one. I could see myself sitting down and spending an evening doing that. I kind of almost thought of them as meals or times of the day when I was doing this. So that was when, like, later on or in the evening, I could see myself like making some garlic bread with cheese and like having a glass or two of that and just, watching a movie or something, and just not a problem with that. It's weird, but I'm not quite wrong, right? Like, there's
No,
something
you're not.
to
You're
it.
not wrong.
Not at all.
You're not wrong.
All right. Now after that, then I'm getting down to my one or two big ones that I think are kind of would be standard, but I think are ones that if you don't try, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry, I do.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying.
For me, one of them would be in the morning. Because like I said, I was thinking about this through times of the day. So morning breakfast, morning snacks. I don't really eat breakfast too much, but
Breakfast whiskey,
fruit Danish with a little icing drizzle would, I believe, go with, I had on here Rua single malt or Blue Ash Farms maple bourbon that I had. Both of those play more morning, and Rua mixes with it almost right on top of what's going on. But I was going to say that the maple bourbon just adds a little complexity to it. Makes you feel like you're having, you're waking up in the morning, but enjoying it on your own terms. But I love a fruit Danish, and that adds a different level to the bourbon or single malt or whatever you're having as well too. Just adds that extra punch of flavor that I dig. Oh, well, if it isn't Mr. Eves, it's good to see you, sir.
Hey, Benji,
I know.
how's about that hair?
It's got a hat on in that picture. I don't think we. All right, I'm gonna pour myself one more drink.
Okay.
I have one other one. What do you guys have any left?
Oh, I got a few more.
All right, let's hear.
I'll
some of yours.
lump two of them together.
I know that feeling.
Well, because it can. No, because it makes sense. There's a difference though between the two, but the Oreo and Oreos and rye are really good. Oreos and absinthe also good. Oreos themselves are just good, but also if you want to try something a little bit different textural wise, overall texture, a much softer texture, which I think is more fun to have with with something a little higher proof is, and you only have half of it, or at least I only have half of it, is the Oreo Cakester.
See, I can get behind the Cakester more. Sometimes I've always thought the Oreo itself was almost too hard of a cookie. It's like it felt like it was overdone.
Yeah, the outer, yeah. And
that was
I'm
my
with
only
on that.
complaint.
But I do also, and also when I say Oreo, I'm also talking about the vanilla Oreos as well.
Double stuffs.
Not doing the mints, but the vanilla wafered ones.
Okay.
Yeah, for different reasons. And actually, I will say this: daughter had picked up some of the super thin gluten-free Oreos. Pretty damn tasty.
Okay.
They did the trick too, and honestly, the ratios were better, and overall, I thought everything was had a nicer consistency. I mean,
I like
if you're gonna eat Oreos, you might as well go gluten-free.
I'm not against it, I was expecting Oreos to come up because, like you said, you hear it with absinthe all the time. And it's almost like you should have it with you no matter what if you're trying them, just because they fall right in line with it, or it's like a standard that everyone talks about. So, but no, thank you for mentioning the soft ones because I don't know.
If you've lost all your teeth from eating all this shit, you're going to be eating the cakes.
Well, Yes, that could be true too, but hopefully not with everybody. But
You
no,
can-
I just
Gum the cakesters with your drunk ass grandma.
well, actually, you could do if you're just doing that. You could might as well just fill your, put the Oreo in there and then mix in the alcohol and let it, soften itself up. There's a way around that.
Yeah, they're easier for Meemaw to chew.
Or you can do the full fat kid experience and go to the state fair, get them
Oh,
deep
yeah.
fried, and bring a flask.
Yeah.
Those are interesting. They had there's a restaurant in Kenosha that does those and a bunch of other stuff that's deep fried. They also do all sorts of wonderful breakfasts and crazy stuff, but they do, if you have a candy bar you bring and you want to deep fry, they'll deep fry whatever.
So kind of like in Florida where you can catch a fish and take it someplace and they'll cook it for you. You can bring your candy bar in this place.
I don't know if it's quite legal. Maybe they have the candy bars and you have to buy them from them, but there's
That's one of them Minnesota bars. We can't do that.
Yeah, oh, that's true.
Get those Pearson salted nut rolls, which those were on my list, but also for other reasons. But anyway,
just the normal nut roll, the red
Pearson salt. Yeah, oh yeah, that with a bourbon. Yeah, you got the peanuts, you got the caramel, and you got whatever that filling is.
And it goes for a while. You think it's vanilla, but you don't know.
There's something vanilla-ish there.
It's the extra salt on the peanuts that I like about those. Was the odd thing about most of my list is I thought I would have some more salt on it because I do like salt with that or meats with salt in it, and that hit nothing that when I was in here. So I looked at it afterwards. I was like, well, that's kind of sad.
I mean, jerky isn't really low salt, but okay.
No, and we like and we go camping like to get cheap summer sausage, and because it's just greasier and fattier, and do two things. One, slice it really, really thin and use that when you do a tasting. The other thing is you slice it thick and you either put it in a skillet or hold it over a campfire and you char both sides of that and you snack on that bad boy while just in general, but while you're having a drink. It's good stuff.
I kind of like that. Charred meat. That's always good with stuff.
Yeah, and you just watching it suck all the fat and everything out of it, so you feel healthier.
You're seeing the spot in the fire where the grease marks are.
Yeah. Better in the fire than in your stomach or your arteries.
Oh, that's true. Emily, do you have any other ones that are on your list?
The main one, my big one that fixed the rye that still makes me angry because why? So Biscoff cookies. Everybody knows those little suckers, okay? And also basically windmill cookies, which are sort of like the cousins to Mitch's favorite pfeffernusse, except the pfeffernusse have icing on top of them. The windmill cookies are naked, but it's it's kind of like a ginger snap, but it's got more like baking spices, so more clove and nutmeg and a little bit more molasses to it. And typically the windmill cookies that we get are the ones in the orange box that also have almond slices in it.
Ooh.
So Biscoff, I just recently discovered mere days ago, also now has ice cream novelty bars on stick. So
this is the second stick-related dessert you brought up that sounds delicious.
I wasn't going to bring up sticks, but you said the key lime pie, and so I had to fix it for you.
What's with you and sticks?
I like tools, okay?
I like sticks, okay? You could shut up.
Anyway, I like to make things more effective. So the Biscoff cookie bars. And basically also it's the speculoos cookie butter, which was a big trend in a bunch of stuff a couple of years ago. That's the same thing, except the speculoos is like the windmill cookies are that same batter in cookie form. And the speculoos is just that whole deal, but spreadable. So they have the cookie butter on the inside, and then they took like the whole Biscoff cookies and they broke them up on top of the chocolate. And so you have 2 layers of cookie and a layer of ice cream and a layer of chocolate. And it fixed the rye that pissed me off because there was enough fat in it and enough spice that it actually tasted like something.
That cookie sounds amazing. The description was fantastic.
Oh yeah, they're really good. Apparently it's a Michigan thing. I don't know.
Bunch of weirdos.
The other one I had besides a fruit Danish is on the same lines in the morning is just an apple cinnamon bear claw. That's another thing in the morning. I could sit down and eat. Once again, I had that one with the blue ash maple bourbon or any maple bourbon in that realm. Just because it adds that morning feel to it. And on my list, I got one other one. It was, I like a hot brownie with French vanilla ice cream on top. But I put that with, once again, any type of toasted barrel. I went with Peerless or Bluegrass in this instance, but the little toasting marshmallow thing kind of adds that little effect to it that you didn't get from before, and I thought it was a neat play with it. To be honest, it's one of those things where you can actually just pour a little bit over the ice cream and brownie itself. You don't need to separate it. You can just add it to the mix of fun. So I think that's a good way to approach a brownie and ice cream in any event with alcohol.
With caution.
I don't know if that's quite what I did.
With respect.
Reckless abandon.
Yeah, two of the ones that you said I had down, but so I will second the apple bear claws or apple fritters. Also, I kind of put them together, but also you'd mentioned marshmallow stuff, just straight up marshmallows, and also there was they have not carried them for the longest time, but then now I don't remember the brand, but at Target you could get it was a bag of chocolate covered marshmallows.
I remember that, and
they were delightful.
You can go to a lot of candy stores. We have 2 of them in town that will do that as well.
So yeah, I was glad because the bags were not very big, and it was good because they were just those were horrible. But one of my before I get into a whole other category, one of my all-time favorites, whether you get it from the Girl Scouts or you do the knockoffs, so you go the Aldi route, and the Girl Scouts, the regionally there's different names, whatever, but it's basically the caramel delights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are great with all whiskey. Really good with Scotch. I used to love the Scotch, and also with coffee in the morning. The Highlander Grog coffee, and these. Oh yeah, it's the stuff. But these babies are one of my favorites. Just all the flavors that are in it. Oh my god, love it. I don't know what regionally. I mean, there was caramel delights for our region, but I think some places are Samoas.
Samoas is the other name. Yes, it's weird how it's regionally different.
Well, because they have 2 different bakeries.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
I just figured it was regional racism.
I mean, probably that too, but
yeah.
I hope it's not that, but yeah. Let's see. What else? Do I have any other ones on my list here? No, I'm kind of. Those are some of the bigger ones I had.
You're winding down? Oh man, dude, I'm just getting wound up.
We said you had like 10 before. What do you have, like 10 in each category? Go.
No.
Run some off.
Okay, I'll lump a couple together. The dessert cake category. Because some of them you can only have in little bits, like a zebra cake, small amounts.
Only have one.
There's too much. Probably the best one in the cake. Well, Stroop waffles, which I am lumping those in cake. Those are good to have with whiskey. Or if you get the mini Belgian waffles from Costco, those are really good with whiskey. But probably one of all-time favorites, and this goes way back. We would buy these and then slice them up, and you freeze them. Got to freeze them. And then when we get ice cream, we would put in the bottom of a cup like a little silver dollar of a sliced frozen ho-ho, and then you put your scoop of ice cream on top of that. But that sliced frozen ho-ho with the whiskey is great. Don't freeze the whole ho-ho, or well, you can, but what happens to chocolate when it gets frozen? It's brittle. What happens when it's thin? It gets everywhere. So you bite into a frozen ho-ho, you got chocolate parts all over you. Gets worse when you got one of these. So
just have a comb with you when you do it.
Well, I do, but at the same time, the frozen for the cake category. Actually, there is one more that I'll throw in on the cake category. Toaster strudel.
Well, I was gonna go with strudels, go with Danishes, but it's different. The toaster strudel, that's because it's like the actual put it in the toaster version.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and have it warm with the single malt or an Irish, and it's and something lighter or a very heavy bourbon.
Heavy bourbon, you said?
Yeah, a heavy bold bourbon. Because then you get that balance of the sweet and fruitiness that will offset some of that boldness of the whiskey.
Hold on, what's up? All right, there it is. I'll catch back around in a second.
But what flavor toaster strudel, Mike?
My favorite would be the apple.
Solid choice.
Thank you.
Not that you need my approval, but sure.
I always need your approval.
You never do, but you can have it most of the time.
I'll allow it. What do you have next, Emily?
If you can't find the speculoos, the cookie butter, the ginger snaps are always a solid choice.
Yes.
Or and especially the gluten-free variety for those, along with the Oreos. Texturally, it's a different experience, and it can just be a different kind of fun thing to riff on. Going with the morning theme, a recent thing that I've discovered to make my less than ideal typical coffee more pleasant is I add cocoa bitters to a regular just cup of coffee just because.
Neat.
It's just a little bit of fun.
I'm wondering what your base coffee is that you're adding that to.
Just random cheap shit from Costco.
Okay, well, I just meant I didn't know the bitters itself would play into that.
It's a Latin American blend. If I can get it, which I have not seen it in a long time, one of the things that I love to pair with. There's a chocolate company called Green and Blacks that for a number of years did a Mayan chocolate bar, which was chocolate bar, not super milk chocolate, but not hyper dark, with orange peel and a little bit of black pepper and cinnamon in the chocolate bar.
Okay, I do think I remember that. You mentioning that. Mike, what do you think of that with Dancing Goats gin?
Oh, yeah.
Chocolate bar, orange, and a little bit of spice to it. I think that combo is neat. And good to see you, Donald and Clifton. Thanks.
I have had chocolate and orange with gins that have a decent amount of coriander, and I concur.
I just when you were mentioning that, it sounded delicious in itself. But I mean, just going with spirits, that's where I just slammed it right into there. I'm like, man, that sounds like home and would play well with it. Sorry, Emily, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, that's fine. That's pretty much all I had for that round.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a few more.
Well, when you were doing
ahead,
cakes, that's all right. Yeah, when you were doing cake-like things, when you're Swiss cake roll is close to a ho-ho, but mine is more the Swiss cake roll. That would be something that I would sit down with. The frozen version, though, that's an interesting twist. A Milky Way, and if you're going candy bar, is one that I like, mainly because it's mostly more of a fluff, but you get a lot of more caramel in it and chocolate,
Yes.
and not so much other things sometimes.
Okay, but do you like the dark chocolate Milky Way? Is my follow-up at that
The Milky Way Midnight.
Yeah,
Milky Way Midnight.
I'm not against it, but just in general, I'm more of a milk chocolate person. But I do like it. But if I'm gonna have a choice in general, most of the time I'm gonna go milk chocolate. So there are a few brands where I'm like, their dark chocolate is better than the milk chocolate.
Yeah. It's I don't dislike it. I don't think it's a good dark chocolate. But but overall I'm
It's mediocre chocolate in a relatively decent overall package for what it is.
yes, there you go. That's a good way to put it. I don't want to offend anyone from the factory who might come on, but it's not as good as the as a standard Milky Way. See, candy bars, that's an area that I actually mostly stayed away from just because there's so many. But one thing I will say with candy bars to try, because we would do this when, especially if you camp with a group and it's like everyone do a dessert thing, everyone bring a thing. So there's a thing I used to make called a grilled candy bar. Now, we tested these out at home, and one, you really got to use fun size bars, and two, one is more than enough. But you take a tortilla, and then you spread marshmallow fluff all over the inside of it. You put the candy bar in it, then you wrap it up, and you baste the outside with butter, and then sprinkle sugar on it, and then you put it in foil, and you grill it for like 2 minutes on each side on the grill. So what we did was we bought like many different kinds of candy bars and tried them. We did Snickers, Milky Way, Three Musketeers, Twix, Butterfinger. I think we did 100 grand. Might have done a couple others. The one that everybody thought, the ones everyone thought would have come out on top, totally didn't. The runaway winner for everybody who's done it is the Twix, and it was because the way that caramel melts and that the cookie is just soft enough. But yeah, we did. It's like you have one and you're done. Like you can feel the circulation cutting off below the waist just from having those. But that in itself, with like if you could somehow have that in a smaller thing, they're super easy to make. They're very messy if you try to have them hot or give them to a young child. Have the white candy.
The Butterfinger version sounded interesting because I thought you might still get some crunch to get through. But there is a high crunch ratio. That was one of the ones that was disappointing. It was a very high crunch ratio. Now, if you were to break the Butterfinger up first, it might have been a better experience. I can see that. I get what you mean. Yeah. But I was hoping maybe that might have, just when you said like the Twix, it had something to like hold on to until
Twix
you got
had
to
a fantastic balance. Three Musketeers was just mush. Yeah. Anyway, fun experiment. I highly recommend you do that, but especially if you just really want to go for it. If you wanted to calm the night down, because everyone, they get a sugar high and then a hard crash. And so like what party's over? Everyone's in bed by 9:30 camping. Or 6. Yeah. Jesse's right. Did you try putting it on a stick? No. Probably should have. I actually, yeah. So yeah, grill it and then deep fry it. But the only thing closest to one is, because if I didn't mention this, it would be a crime against humanity. Frozen Reese's. Frozen Reese's and whiskey is the bomb. It's even better at holiday times when you can get the eggs or you can get the pumpkins. The Peeps. Yeah. The eggs or pumpkins are better than the trees when they come out, but the seasonal ones, because they are made more fresh. But yeah, buy those and freeze those suckers. They are. Because other Reese's, they've been made far in advance. Oh, yeah. And the seasonal ones, they're not making them all year round. So when those eggs come out, that's a fresh batch of eggs. But frozen Reese's and whiskey, good shit.
That is. Oh, I've had that before. That is pretty tasty. So,
Speaking of which, you know how to make cashews less healthy and more fun to do all kinds of stuff with? You get the ones that are coated in toasted coconut, which I know will offend Donald to no end, but for the rest of us, with like the rum, the coconut covered cashews, choice.
that would be good with some things. I'm not a big coconut either, but that would fall into a lot of that. That would work with a lot of people. Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
See, and I didn't go with it, but like chocolate covered bacon. That's just a good snack, though.
True.
I mean, that's that
Yeah.
you could.
Bacon.
I
in
felt like I
general.
was cheating with that. That's not fair. Just when you guys were talking about other stuff, that kind of fell into that realm.
All right. I have two more.
Okay.
Actually, three. One of them which one, it's seasonal. It's seasonal. It's a holiday thing.
Which
Pumpkin
holiday?
pumpkin pie, and rye whiskey.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, that is that. Well, that is usually what I'll try to push people towards for dessert, or I'll have that and go sit down for a minute and have that in my whiskey.
Yeah. Also does work with a high rye bourbon really well, especially Thanksgiving, staying on brand. Wild Turkey 101 and that. Kind of hard to beat that. But my last two are I'll wait and see if Emily's got any more, because my last two are possibly slight abominations.
Yeah. Well, since you brought up holiday stuff, for several years we did bourbon pecan pie, which is you make the pecan pie, but in like the goo layer that goes below the nuts, you add like a cup of bourbon, preferably about 100 proof. Everything's improved drastically.
Is that like a pecan pie?
If you're from the up north and you say it wrong, sure.
You're a communist.
A pecan. Yeah, that does start a fight with some people. That's weird.
It's fun to stir that up in a crowd and then walk away.
I have to do that with anything and just walk away, just listen to everyone. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, my friend Matt, who you've met, he likes to do that with two of our friends, politics, because they're way opposite. So he'll walk through like an orangutan, make some comments to both of them, wound up, and then they start in, and then next thing you know, he's long gone, just laughing to himself. Yeah.
Sometimes that's what friends do.
That's right.
Just rile you up and like.
That's what friends are for.
So, what's one of your
All right.
abominations, Mike?
Well, let's let the lady go.
Oh,
Emily, you
sorry.
got anything else?
No, that's about it. Anyway,
wow.
there's
All right.
something in my mouth, so thanks.
Okay. All right. All right. So, slight abomination number one, it's actually a combo thing where you take the Oreo filling and you put it on a Nilla wafer.
Just the filling?
Mhm.
Or are you doing like one half Oreo and the other half Nilla wafer?
Just the filling on a Nilla wafer with a bourbon.
I
Mhm.
haven't done that. I'm not sure. I don't know I don't know how to deal with that.
Creamy, crunchy vanilla.
It's like, do they already come that way? I would think somehow.
I don't know. I don't want to know. Because it takes planning, because you're buying two things, to put these things together. So yeah, so
And
yes, sugar.
So what do you do with the leftover Oreos? Just
You make pie crust.
You could do that, sure.
Or that like, there used to be something that was like dirt pie or something where you crushed up and have pudding layers and stuff. See, that I could get behind.
Or yeah. Give them to somebody and say, "Oh, you got ripped off." No.
I wasn't thinking of that as an abomination, but yeah, it's just just something different.
Well, you're defiling something sacred in order to create something else.
True. What's the second one you've
Well, the second one, which I will make, and it is it's you're just gonna have to
smile while you're making it.
Because you're just gonna have to bear with me and just try it. It's one of those things that I don't know how you end up doing this. You just kind of your reasoning goes out the window at some point, and so then you just start doing stuff. So this is texture and flavor and balance, and this oozes fat boy snack because it is back to the filling from an Oreo combined with a Pringle.
I'm
That's not even an abomination, Mike.
I don't even know how to handle that one quite. I'm a little. So, what would you say it pairs with?
Losing
Does it
your
taste
teeth.
like a vodka marshmallow with salt?
It's salty, it's crunchy, it's sweet, it's vanilla-y, and it's just like a bunch of different flavors and so it's got a lot of sweet and savory to it. And you do that with the bourbon, yeah. And so sugar on a Pringle, yes, sugar on a Pringle, whipped sugar. But yes, you're good for a couple. If you did a can of Pringles and a whole container of Oreo double stuffed with that, more power to you. But
Get marshmallow fluff.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'll be concerned if I ever see anyone with a can of marshmallow fluff and a can of Pringles. Just
dipping it in there.
dipping it.
You can't. Well, you wouldn't be able to dip them.
That's true. You might have to triple stack, though. There's the power in layers.
I don't think it would still do it, but. Oh yeah, the Spam, because Spam's that's not a heavy jump away from the cheap summer sausage.
No,
but yeah,
I think that's doable. I would fry it. I like fried Spam.
Oh yeah.
Then
my dad used to do that, fried Spam sandwiches with a couple of nice big hunks of iceberg lettuce on Wonder Bread.
Wonder Bread. My dad used
Why
to
lettuce?
Huh?
Why lettuce at all with Spam?
Just for that little extra crunch.
Oh.
It's just water. It's just water.
Sure.
But it was just that and a little bit of mustard.
I know my dad did onion
so
with
good.
that, but this instead of lettuce, but otherwise same sandwich. So,
speaking of it, I saw it. I don't know. This wouldn't qualify as Fat Boy, but I saw on suppose from Food Beast where they took those massive fat pickles and they sliced them and they used it as the bread for a sandwich.
Did they deep fry them? Like this?
No. No.
Okay. Oh.
No. With like beautiful spiced deli meat between it.
That would be pretty cool.
I
just was thinking, I'm like, if you did that enough to be thick enough to like deep fry it for the bread and then put it as a sandwich. I like deep fried pickles, so there's definitely a way to use that.
All right,
I didn't go into fried food with this because I don't think most people are going to fry stuff at home to snack on when you're sipping on a whiskey. So I didn't go into that.
Well, you shouldn't be.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna bob for pickles.
That's all right. I don't have any other specialty ones here this evening. I didn't make an abomination. The Danish or bear claw in the morning is I think that's a anytime you want. You're sitting at home, you're camping, wherever you are. That's just a good start to the morning.
Yeah, donuts in general. The only other one, which again, this is a regular snack that I do have with whiskey, is a wheat thin, and then you put a little bit of honey on it, and try different types of honey. Try Manuka, try something different, and then you sprinkle some blue cheese on top of that.
Okay.
And that's really good with whiskey. And that's really fun is if you have it and also it's really good with gin as well. But if you have it and have like one cracker down, have another one blue cheese down.
Well, yeah, I got you because it's.
I hit my I got a cousin who has moved not too far from me now, and he likes gin. Specifically, Jeff likes my gin, and I love it. So I made a plate of those, and then next thing I turn around and it was like, there's honey everywhere, and he's just got this smile. He's like, these are so good. And it's like, oh, you've had 4 gins. there's honey and blue cheese everywhere, and he's like, these are delicious. But yeah, and we have done Zofer. We've done it with different crackers. Triscuit's okay, but the wheat thin, it's just kind of hard to beat the wheat thin. It's simple. Yeah, it's a good portion size. Yeah,
the Triscuit.
It works with boursin cheese too. If you're not as fancy enough for the blue cheese.
Mm-hmm. I can see the wheat thin being like kind of grainy because it breaks apart like fibery, where the other one is more consistent.
Yeah, it was. It was really good with gin and tonics. But definitely good. Almost like a cheap ass martini in a way, but really good with whiskey.
I would have expected that. The blue cheese threw me off for a second. Like I get it, but I wasn't expecting that right away.
It does. It doesn't take much. Just a couple of crumbles. That's it. But it's a good balance. Highly recommend it.
Outstanding. I like that. I gotta find something to cheers out on though. I gotta get something to drink. A little something in a glass.
Cheers out on a Pringle.
Well, I don't have one here, but yeah. The Pringle with vanilla frosting is. I get the whole what's going on in the description because it's an overwhelming this, that, and that all happening, and then you mix it. It's kind of a. But Pringle's
total overweight divorced dad with nothing else in the cupboard kind of a meal. I mean, if I had chicken and a biscuit and some squeezed cheese, it wouldn't be too far off of that either. But
well, I was a little different.
Yeah.
But no,
shout out and no offense to all divorced dads. It was just one of my stupid comments.
So, all right. I got a little rum in my glass. Emily, thank you for coming on the show this evening and having some excellent ideas. Like some of the candy you described is way better than mine.
I always have ideas, especially when it comes to food.
Well, I was kind of mouth-watering compared to the description of a couple you had. I'm like, damn, put it on the list.
Yeah, for the next show. I put the pickle sandwich in the chat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Check that out.
That's something you can do. It looks delicious. Yeah. So, but I just wanted to say thank you for stopping in and filling in this evening. We always appreciate having you on and are happy you got a chance to come on this evening. Mike, always good to see you. Happy you got on. Until next week, I hope everyone out there in Whiskey Land has a wonderful week and everything goes nice and smooth for everybody because I think everyone can deal with that at this point. I think everyone needs a good end to the summer, right? Like, I don't know, for me, my kids start next week. So this is like the last weekend of summer. I know some of you Southern people have already started. Have you guys started school out there, Mike?
Well, two of mine are in college, so
I know, but
yes, their school is in the air. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just know some people in Kentucky and other places started like 2 weeks ago already.
Yeah.
God, it's scary. Do they do that there? In,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Do you have schools in Florida?
So far, until they take out all the dictionaries.
So, like I was saying, thank you everyone for stopping in the chat and being with us this evening. And thank you, Emily and Mike, for being here. And we will see you next Monday night. Until then, remember, it's not the size of the den that matters. It's the love of whiskey. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, y'all.